you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about One Piece episode 1110. And this one is going to be more of a straightforward episode review just due to the fact that it was pretty much just a fight with a fight with a fight that leads to a reveal at the end. So this one is just going to be more of a quick review with more theory talk at the end. Just because I'm really looking forward to what might be happening, and I have a theory on what's going to be happening with Stella and the whole Vegapunk situation. The episode actually picks up with the fight that we had going on last episode with Lucci and Luffy, and Kaku and Zoro ended up fighting S-Bear and S-Snake. I'm sorry, not S-Snake, it's S-Hawk, right? Yeah, S-Hawk. But the way that they had it left off last episode, I thought it was going to be one of those one-shot things where they just like cut through. But considering how much anime we all watch, I'm genuinely more surprised that I was surprised that the fight was going to be going on. So I'm actually pretty looking forward to seeing what we actually get out of this fight, because the fact that Luffy and Lucci are actually being able to work together, and this whole like thing with, oh I got the way that they actually get into giving Zoro crap, because when they go through that whole reveal of King and it's the race and they do the way that you tell is dark skin, white hair, flaming wings and black flaming on the back and black wings. It's just I'm with the other guys. It's like, oh come on, man! Like, just how did you not realize? But it's just, again, that's just one of those things where it's just like Zoro is basically the most oblivious person on the entire crew when it comes to just basic cognitive awareness. So he's basically what DBZA Goku is. Like, not to such a degree. It's just he's so battle smart and battle savvy, but when it comes to general intelligence, he's basically a sponge. Like, just, and I'm not talking about someone that absorbs information. I'm talking about like a sea sponge, just a useless sponge, something that's just like there. But I honestly, I love the way they're doing this entire scenario with getting the team working together, actually having some team building where the other three, two CP0 and Luffy, are giving Zoro crap. It's a cool little team bonding moment. It's going to turn around in the end where I think the CP0 guys are going to be going back to the government and they're going to be on the good side, but it's going to be kind of like a GARP situation where it's just like, you're on the wrong side, I will take you down if necessary, but there's a mutual respect here and I'll let you get away if the situation calls for and I got something more important to deal with. It's going to be like one of those types of situations, I have a feeling like. But I'm looking forward to when we actually get another fight between the Straw Hats and the CP0 guys later on down the line. Probably when we actually get the fight with the Five Elders. This is one of those things that I know that ends up happening just because I do know some spoilers down the line for the manga. And I know that they end up having like a big fight between the Five Elders and the Straw Hats. I know that Saturn, I believe is his name, the shorter guy with the big beard. He's supposed to be fighting Luffy, and he's like some sort of scorpion dude. So I'm looking forward to all of this, and that actually we'll come back to that when we start talking about the theory later on in the episode that I want to start talking about that involves Vegapunk and Shaka. And while we get Lucci, Luffy, Zoro, and Kaku all doing their fight against Hawk and Bear, we end up cutting over towards Nami, where she's actually in a fight with S-Shark because her, Brooke, and Edison are on the run there. This is one of those things where I do actually really appreciate what they're doing with Nami. They are showing that she has fight drive and she has battle prowess, but at the same time, she's not all of a sudden like so strong she can take on a Seraphim that's on the same power level that Luffy and Zoro are now having trouble with. They do the thing where Zeus gives her that big hype up and they end up going doing the fight, but when she hits with that big move and the shark falls down, you know that he just used his power again. He's not out, he's coming back. So I like the fact that she is trying and she is fighting, but at the same time she's not going to be able to take one of these guys out. The only thing that they know how to do right now is run, fight a little bit as you can, but try the main focus, get away. And I like the fact that that's their main focus at the point. But at the same time, I'm not really a big fan of how Brooke all of a sudden just isn't as strong. Like, he has the ability, like he's much stronger than Nami, but he gets his head taken off and all of a sudden Nami's the one doing the fight. I understand that Nami's got to be the one doing the fight as well, but when you got to like lower the status of another character to bring up another one, that's a little bit of an issue for me. I'm not a big fan of that. that's when we get our second cutaway where we end up going over to the other fight where we got Usopp, Frankie, and Lilith all taking on S Snake. And this one here is honestly the most annoying thing that happened to me in the entire episode, just due to the fact that I understand that it's the part of like Japanese anime storytelling where it's just if you have a cutesy character and they say that they're in pain, that the stronger person's got to be like, oh no, embarrassment. How? But at the same time, it's just this is the someone that is turning people to stone and dangerous and killing people, and you put a bubble on her, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I'm in pain, and Frankie just goes bright red and apologizes to it, and all of a sudden gets out and kicks him and half petrifies him. Like, I love this show, but sometimes they do things like that, and it's just really irritating because that just seems like I wasn't really able to think of something better. So we'll just do this. We'll just come up with another embarrassment thing that the character just embarrassed that all of a sudden they're hurting the opponent that they're supposed to be fighting just because it's a cutesy character. And then honestly, Frankie deserves to be half petrified for that one. But when you got Lilith and Usopp over here falling for the cute, that's actually one thing I didn't understand about the fruit that they have. Is I thought it was you had to be already like attracted to or think that they're cute or have some sort of a positive attraction towards the person with the ability, but turns out that they have the ability to force you into actually be, because that with that whole Blackbeard theory where it's just like, why would Blackbeard want that ability? Well, guess what? Turns out he could force people to think he's cute. I mean, who knows that Blackbeard just wants to be cute in this world? He wants to be kawaii in this world. But I don't know. To me, it's just the only good part of this episode was the first fight, was the one between the CP0, the Straw Hats, when they were fighting Bear and Hawk. Those were everything after that with the other Straw Hats. I feel there's a lot of weak storytelling in it, just due to the fact that it seemed like we need to take them down quick, even if it is because they're weaker characters. You can easily take Usopp and Lilith and Nami and those other characters down, even though they are important to the story. They are able to be taken down. But Frankie is one of those characters that he got taken down because he was embarrassed he was hurting a cutesy character. That's weak storytelling. I do not like that type of storytelling, and I think One Piece is better than that. They do it from time to time, but they don't do it very often, and I hate when they do it. And I feel like they're better. And on top of all that, like this week episode, honestly, is a bit more of a weaker episode to me. But the stuff that does happen that I do like, I very much enjoy. Like the fact of Luffy now, when he goes into Bounce Man, he doesn't need the recovery time anymore. That's something they didn't even mention that. They don't even need to mention that at all. That's one of those things like he's Gear 5 now. He's got the ability to do so much more. So if he goes into Bounce Man, that's fine if he doesn't need to have that recovery time because he has such a great abundance of hockey now. He could probably control Bounce Man and not even have to feel like he's dipping too far into the well. So that's a positive thing that I'm definitely going to take away from this. That is One Piece is fantastic at doing subtle story beats like that. But it just had... honestly, I'm not a big fan of ratings with anything, but if a scale, like if this is the top and this is the bottom, like to me the episode is like somewhere in the middle. It's just maybe like slightly below the middle just because 2/3 of the episode to me weren't very good. The 1/3 that I really liked, that was fantastic. But honestly, the saving grace for this entire episode was probably the ending. So we end up getting Shaka leaving the main fight with Luffy and Zoro when he goes off because he thinks he has an idea where Stella might be. And honestly, I need them to explain why he might know because they don't do any bit of that. It's just like all of a sudden he just knows where it might be. I think that we need more of an explanation as an audience to that. But when he actually finds Stella, he's in the place where they actually have the Cypher Pole guys. And Shaka is just like, I'm going to unlock you. But then all of a sudden, he gets shot in the head. But this is the thing that I'm very concerned about. Oda has a problem with not killing characters off. Like, he has a real bad issue with just not killing someone. But Shaka just got shot in the head. His helmet's exploded, and there is so much blood. If Shaka's alive, I'm going to be very pissed. Because how can you what is death then? Like people always say in Dragon Ball that death means nothing because you can just revive everybody with the Dragon Balls. But if someone can get shot in the head and not die, then what is death in One Piece? One Piece, like, you gotta, like, Ace is dead, but that took a very solid wound to the chest. But, like, this is a very solid wound to the head. He better be dead. Like, this is the character that the entire time I'm predicting. We're going to get Shaka. Shaka's just going to be the new Vegapunk. We're going to get everything put into him. Stella's going to put everything into him, and he's going to be the guy. But now, with what we have, what do we do? He's the one that's dead now. So we're probably just going to get Stella, or probably because they would like to even maybe round out with actual female characters, we may end up getting Lilith now being the full character. Because she's considered the evil character or the fight character, whatever you want to call her, she's going to be the one that can actually be the more aggressive member of the crew. And she'll be the one that's actually kind of getting told to come. She could be like the loose cannon of the crew. So if that's what they're planning on doing, I'm up for that. Although it is always sad when your predictions don't come true. But if they could pull off something better than what you were predicting, then I'm for it all the way. It's just I want to see what they're going to be able to do with this and which Vegapunk are they going to get off the island. Because I don't think it's going to be the original Stella. I think it's got to be one of the copies that just gets everything. I'm still on board for that theory, but I don't know. It just seems weird to me that everything that they're doing with Vegapunk is just so, like, I don't want to say scattershot and I don't want to say random, but they're hitting it at very random points of the story, and I'm still not fully on board with the Vegapunk story. I like the way that they're doing everything with the Straw Hats trying to like bring him in, and how Luffy's trying to actually like, oh, you know what? You want to be part of the crew? Fine, we'll bring you with us. Do all that. That I'm okay with. But so far between all the other the way they're manipulating everyone together, I'm not really a big fan of it. And now I want to kind of do more of a theory talk with you guys, just due to the fact that I don't really think that there was very much to talk about in the actual episode itself between the fights and stuff that annoy me, and I don't really want to go on talking about stuff that annoyed me about an episode. I feel like there's no reason to dwell on negative things when there is so much positive that we can talk about. Like the fact that I think this is where we're going to be getting introduced to the five elders. And because right now, like, the only person above Vegapunk that can command the actual Seraphim are the elders, right? So it would make sense that the person that shot Shaka is the person that's controlling the Seraphim would be one of the five elders. And I think it's going to be Saturn. Because if Saturn's going to be the first one introduced, he's going to be the one that's trying to actually kill Vegapunk. But that makes me wonder, why does he have Stella hostage? Why wouldn't he just kill him in the first place? He just shot Shaka. So, and if he's killing off all the other ones, does he just want to keep the original and just like get rid of the other ones so that way he can just have more control over Vegapunk? Or does he actually want to just eliminate the rest of them and then eliminate the original, just to be on the safe side? So I don't know what they're planning on doing with it, but I think it is Saturn and the five elders that are actually behind Shaka dying right here, and behind the Seraphim going rogue, as you would call it. But if they're actually behind the elders, then it's not really rogue, it's just more like a perceived rogue. And this, I've been wanting to see something from the five elders since they've been introduced. Since the moment, not necessarily since the moment they were introduced, the main reason I want to see them is that moment Shanks walked into their office. And like he sat down and he had a meeting with them. Like what is that? Like what are they to Shanks? Who is Shanks to them? Like is he one of is he part of it? Like there's so many questions that I have that I need answered when it comes to this. Like I guarantee Shanks knows about Emu. 100%. I'd be freaking shocked if he did not know. Like he knows. He knows about what's going on when it comes to government. This guy was comfortable enough to walk up into their office and sit down and tell them we need to have a conversation. So something's happening there. And honestly, like, because it's not going to be Shanks or anybody from the crew. Like, they're all on Elbath. They're dealing with their own thing. But this is going to be, like, I think this is going to be huge for One Piece. Because if this is the five elders actually stepping off the royal ground at Marie Joie, and they're actually going to do some dirty work and get their hands dirty for once. I'm looking forward to this fight, because I know I know Zoro is supposed to fight one of them, and I know Sanji is supposed to fight one of them. That's 3 of the 5 elders right there. Which means that if the other 2 are just staying in where they need to stay in Marie Joie, then what's going to happen later on down the line with after all this stuff happens? So there's so many things that could be set up just from this one arc. We're only 25 episodes into this entire arc, and if this is going to go anything like, because how many was one? Like 162, 160 to 169, somewhere in there. If it's somewhere even like half that length, we're not even like a quarter of the, like we're not even a third of the way there yet. So let's actually see what we actually get out of this. I'm really looking forward to what we get with everything moving forward. And if everything happens like the way I'm hoping it happens, we're going to be in for a really cool trip to Elbath real soon. And I was hoping that we're going to get there with the Straw Hats, but we're probably going to be doing a little trip to Elbath with the Red Hair Pirates, which I'll be sad if we don't get Usopp in Elbath, but yeah, what can you do? But anyway, guys, thanks for coming along and watching with me. But I apologize that this video and the last video were so close together. Life got pretty hectic over the past little week with birthdays and all that stuff, so I had to take some time away. I had to record it, but I just had no time to do the edit. So I managed to get the first one up, and this one is pretty much coming up almost immediately after. And I keep saying it, that I want to have more of a regular release schedule, and getting used to this whole recording, editing, and all this stuff, and on a regular schedule is very difficult at times. So I apologize for the time review. I know we're all starting out, and there's probably only a couple of you at this time, but hey, even if there is just a couple of you guys deserve at least a regular release date and a regular time schedule, so you guys can actually enjoy the videos. So I apologize for the wait. I am trying my absolute hardest to make sure that doesn't keep happening. And my next week's video will be out in a much timely manner. That's why I wanted to get this one out at a better time as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week, and I cannot wait to see you guys again. Until then, please leave a thumbs up on the video, leave a comment down below, share this around with anybody you know who wants to talk One Piece, or anybody who wants to have a chat about anything to do with the show. Or if you guys just want to talk about general movies, because again, I will be doing a review on Deadpool when it comes out in July, and I will be looking around for other movies to do reviews on as well, just due to the fact that Marvel is on a bit of a slow brow right now, and Star Wars is out right now, but I'm still iffy about joining into the Star Wars fandom on conversations, because that can get dangerous for your mental health. But until then, I look forward to talking to you guys again, and until next week, I love you guys.